welcome to another episode of BorderLaughs podcast. You know who I am. This is Josh Castro recording live here in Austin, Texas on location. Today we're at a different spot. We're in the back of the hole in wall at Jewboys Cantina, guys. Jewboys Cantina, only here in Austin. If you're not familiar with Jewboys, go check out my first season. I did a whole episode on Jewboys in the restaurant. The owner, Mo, is a great guy from El Paso doing his thing, and he's out here at Hole in the Wall in Austin, Texas, guys. So thanks for joining us. And I also got a special treat for you guys today. I got my good homie, Mr. Aaron Barber, guys, also. And he's going to be joining us here in the episode, guys. So thanks so much. If you like it, please subscribe, like us, and give us a like on this video, guys. So without further ado, we did in this podcast, you know, when we talk about comedy culture, Comida, and that's what we're going to be talking today. And in that subject of discussion, Mr. Aaron Barber. So what's up, Aaron? Let them know where you're from, man.
Yeah, this is such a wild trip for me. And originally from Austin, so I spent many a drunken night in here watching punk bands at the Hole in the Wall. But now I'm in El Paso, Texas. So I've been there for coming up on 2 years.
Oh yeah. So now you're. So how long have you been doing comedy?
That's always such a weird question. It's like I think my number's like 6 or 7 years. But also, like, do we count pandemic time? Like, what is that, right? So
I'm counting it as service.
Yeah.
As service credit.
Time served.
Time served. Yeah. I think at any point in a comedian's career, if you haven't contemplating quitting at least once or twice.
Oh, yeah.
I think Sam Butler told me that, actually. Sam Butler. And after that, I kind of like, oh, yeah, that makes sense. If you haven't really considered quitting comedy within at least 2 times in your career, and most people did during the pandemic, and then they came back, and then I wouldn't really consider you a comedian. You're not really a comedian if you don't really, because I have stepped away and I was like, I don't do this no more, and then people keep calling me, hey, you booked here? It's like, as soon as I was like, why are these bookings coming when I quit? You know what I mean? Yeah. So you've been here, so you've been back and forth in Austin. And what brings you back and forth to Austin? What's the significance here?
Well, so I'm back this week for a wedding, so no terribly exciting comedy stuff, but I did do a couple mics here, which are very different breed here in Austin, Texas, I can tell you. It's, I've never heard more abortion jokes from guys who have clearly not had sex in like the last month. Like, but no, it's fun, man. So yeah, I was wedding for my friend, so I got to go see that. Good buddy for like 10 years, so that's always wonderful, you know.
So that brings you back in town for tonight, for
this week, yeah.
For this week.
Awesome. And I hit the road tomorrow. Back to ED.
And what brought you to Austin, like the beginning though, like when you first started doing comedy out here?
Well, I didn't actually start out here. No, I moved to Austin in 2005, 2006. It was like 2 weeks before Katrina hit. That's what I was doing, right? Because I wanted to work in music. So I have a background in music and production. And I did. I worked for like Austin City Limits Festival. I did house sound for a bunch of venues during South by, and then also bartended a shit ton. So yeah.
So you just in and out. So now you're back in El Paso.
Back in the U.S. Yeah. So I left Austin, and I looked at moving a lot of different places.
Yeah, I saw you moving around here and there, and that's because of your regular job, right?
That one wasn't, man. We just wanted to do something just wildly different, you know. And so we had been there once before and thought it was really cool. You know, for 4 years. Asia in general, yeah, but specifically Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia.
Okay.
And we petty cabbed, did some Austin shit, raised a bunch of money, sold all of our shit, and then left. Yeah, and so we landed there in January of 2017.
Nice. So you stayed overseas for a couple of years?
A few years, yeah. So about 3.5 in Malaysia, about 2.5 in New Zealand.
So were you like thrilled to come back to America, or were you like, maybe we should?
It was. I think it was more New Zealand immigration's decision than ours.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So what's up with that? Tell me that. What happened with that?
It's what they would call a soft deportation.
And came out of the country, Whitey. How does that feel?
Yeah, right? Finally. Get it now. Yeah, man. We put in for a visa. did go through, and yeah.
Really? So they didn't feel you that you were contributing to their society.
I don't know. Yeah.
Wow, that's crazy. Like I have this retirement plan where I want to legit move to Spain and just die there. Like I want to just live my retirement and just die out in Spain.
Yeah.
And I'm afraid they're like, sorry, we don't want you. You're kind.
Spain is actually one of the easier ones. So they have like the digital nomad visa right now.
Oh yeah.
It's turning into a very different podcast, but yeah, they
Let's talk about the cultures.
So the big thing right now is all these countries are actually trying to attract people to bring in income, especially through the tech space, right? Work from home, remote working. So places like Spain, Thailand, Bali, Estonia, they all have remote work visas. So if you have a job that makes over X amount, and you can work remotely, you can live there and get a visa for someplace up to 5 years. Some of that turns into PRs.
Well, I definitely want my plans, my retirement plans, man. That's when I want to go to work.
So even Barcelona must be pretty good right now.
I heard. So I don't know, man. Maybe there might be a Castro takeover back to Spain. We'll see what happens. That's cool, man. Now I'm working too to consider you more like an international type of dude that just gets around and knows how to fucking. You're a nomad, you're a nomad. You don't like to stay in one place. I can tell.
That's fair, yeah.
I'm the same way. I like to travel. I love to travel. I like seeing new different shit, running into different people that I've never seen before, heard of.
Yeah.
And I love experiencing new shit. And I guess that's what also is comedy about too, because that's attracted to comedy, because comedy's taken me a lot of places too that I never thought I would go to.
Oh, sure.
Especially here in Texas, you know, and working with comedians that I have worked with, and hopefully going to Mexico and start doing that soon. But that's further down the line. But either way, man, like definitely love to travel. One of those things that I love to do.
Have you done Mexico City?
Never.
Oh,
that's on my list.
Yeah, you just got back.
Yeah, did you just stand up there?
I did, yeah. Just in English rooms, yeah.
So there's a lot of English rooms there?
There's a few, yeah. And so, like, everybody's kind of different about how they go about it, right? Like, I don't try to come in, like, big dog swinging, like, oh, I've got these credits, I've done this and that. I like to find a mic, I go to a mic, I do my shit at the mic, and they're like, oh, wow, you're good. Yeah.
Right.
And then usually I'll get a guest spot on a weekend show, and then the plan is usually like, oh, next time I'll play ahead and watch you do a proper like feature or something like that.
Trying to get the gist of it, trying to let it out.
Yeah. I don't know. That's
what I do.
Yeah, it's very not the best.
That's what I would do. Because, like, yeah, you
Check
can't
the
go,
temperature.
yeah, you can't go in there big dick swinging. I think that would be the most horrible.
I've seen it backfire too many times.
Yeah.
I'm from LA, I do this room, that room, you come in, they try to do a room in Malaysia, they do not know how to read the culture of the room.
They don't give a shit.
Die.
Yeah. And that's the funny thing. That's actually the most funniest thing I would probably be enjoying doing comedy overseas.
Yeah.
It's like, watch these fuckers come in and see how they can do it.
This is my hot take. I think border Canadians, that's like a thing per se, but like,
No, it is.
So like, border Canadians I think would do better in these markets because a lot of the content is about culture, right? It's about culture, it's about family, it's about religion, like, you know, and how you kind of navigate that in the world. That's a huge thing in Malaysia and Thailand and Taiwan, all these places, right? You know, it's not though. LA comics coming in and bragging about how good paint is.
Yeah. Or Tinder dates. It's just so much bullshit. I'm glad you see that, because that brings up to the next that kind of angle of why I started BorderLaughs. BorderLaughs is literally international. And it's supposed to be, man, it doesn't have to be from Mexico. Exactly. And I think you are right. And that's why I think our comedians, as far as comedians from the border, have the advantage and are basically unknown. Because there is that element that you're talking about. And every time I go back home, I find myself in humility where I'm so disconnected. I'm not connecting to the people I used to, that I came from.
Yeah.
And that's disheartening to me, because I'm like, fuck. I gotta get back on my shit. That's why you see people back home.
Yeah.
And I'm always back and forth to El Paso. And now I've been going every other month. That's also not to mention checking on my parents, my viejita, my dad. They're all getting older, so I gotta go back home anyways. So that's just what we do, is we take care of our family. But it is more I think a collective society mentality versus an individualistic mentality that I see more here in Austin versus El Paso. And that's why I always love people from El Paso, because they're like, oh, you understand, you get it. You know, and it brings us back to the food, the culture, and back to where this burrito comes from, guys. If you're not noticing, a small plug here at Jewboys, Mo has successfully constructed the Chili Colorado burrito, which is pronounced here in the white area as Chili Colorado. So this is a testament here of how much our food and our culture is influenced, that I can get a Chili Colorado here on right here in the middle of Austin downtown, guys. So that's the cool thing about it. So I'm gonna do a quick food review, and definitely also, if you want to have half, you want to try.
I'll take a bite.
Yeah, we can do half.
It's kosher, I assume. Is that
I don't know what the Jewboys angle is. No, there is no angle. He literally makes this like back home.
And it's like, you can't find this out here. I don't know if you ever noticed, but like, I grew up on this stuff. And so most of the food, like people like, there's a whole community here in Austin that are from El Paso, and that's all they do is just look for, where can I find the closest thing to home?
There used to be this spot on 15th Street called Scream and Go.
Yeah.
And they were a total Chico's knockoff.
Yeah. I think they got sued or something.
It was pretty
Well, they were too close to their trademark. I think that's what it was. And once you start getting close to the sun, you're gonna get burned.
Yeah.
So yeah, man, there's so many replicas, and that one closed down a long time ago. Then that came Ivan, which is where I do my other podcast. Shout out to Burrito. Hell yeah. Doing a little switch. He's probably going to be mad at me, so if you see this episode, which you probably won't, you're going to get mad. I'm cheating on you. I'm going to try another Chili Colorado. And actually, this one feels a little bit more heavier, so I think it's going to be a little bit more satisfying. You know, we got to measure the girth and the weight on burritos. I don't know if you know that.
Scale,
Yeah. Anyways, a great conversation on the international stuff, and I think you have a lot of experience with all that shit, man. Being a nomad and traveling and just, you know, having that experience, because that also broadens your material.
Yeah.
And you're able to connect to a lot of more people on a more community, and that's an advantage. So that's pretty cool, man. So now you're back in El Paso.
Yeah.
What is it that you do in El Paso in the comedy scene?
So I produce a bunch of shows. So I've got at least 2 a month now. So I do kind of a mix of showcase, and then I think this kind of came from being in New Zealand during the pandemic. So for context, I landed in New Zealand the day the borders closed. Right? Yeah. So we weren't planning on staying. We were just gonna like maybe ride this like weird COVID thing out for a couple weeks or a month or whatever, and we go back 2 years later. So I started producing shows in New Zealand, and you know, we had the same comics week in, week out, right? Like there's nobody coming in, nobody going out, right? So we started doing like weird stuff, like concept shows. We would do your classic gong show, right? We did a show where like every comic would have 8 minutes, and like at the 4-minute mark, they eat like this death wing with Carolina Reaper on it. Kiwis do not handle spice. It's hilarious. And we even did a full-on, like, they don't have late-night TV like we do. We did a full-on late-night, like a piss-take show on, like, Wellington Tonight about the town and all this stuff in it. So, yeah, full-on, like, things. It was cool. So anyway, like, I took a lot of those ideas and brought them to El Paso. So I do a lot more concept and weird shows, and I like it a lot.
That's cool, man. And so, like, yeah, because every time I go back, there's always something new that is in the comedy scene that I'm really liking, that I'm seeing.
Yeah.
And like you said, it was not, like, I've been in and out of the comedy scene in El Paso for a couple of years.
Sure.
I'm always trying to egg these guys on, do something different. You know, come up with your own stuff.
Yeah.
And like, you know, it's always a lot of internal bickering and stuff like that with a lot of comics. And I'm like, bro, just get funny, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm trying to, and I think what you guys have been successfully able to do is bring those concepts and make comics stronger from those concept shows, because it challenges them.
It does, and I think it's interesting about this kind of like group right now, right? Because I feel like every scene has its graduating classes. Right? Like you probably have someone from El Paso that's still at it. You see Kiki or somebody like
Dominguez,
yeah.
Joe Rodriguez.
It's cool to see them do well, right? Because they're from your class, right? Like that's kind of fun. We kind of missed that with the pandemic, right? So like comedy sort of took a break, live events, all that stuff. So you didn't, I don't think, have a group to connect. And so the group that came after that, I think, really locked in, right? And it's not like we haven't had our own internal bullshit, right? Like me and another producer who's amazing, Stretch, we kind of had a misunderstanding about one of the shows one time. Like, I was like handing out, I asked, oh, can I hand out flyers in your show, right? And I did. But on the back, I put like, oh, I also do private events. And he's like, you can't have no flyers. You get one of these things. And I'm like, I'm pissed at him, he's pissed at me, whatever. And then we just actually sat down and had the conversations like, hey, dude, I'm doing private shows as well. That's why. That's the only reason. He's like, oh, that was it? And I feel like that's so many like issues in comedy scenes is one little misunderstanding that just spirals into bullshit because of our egos and what we think about it.
Everybody's in their head, man. Yeah. And that's why I never understood why. And now I understand why things never develop. It's because everybody just has the maturity over there that needs to really understand, like, hey, man, everybody's down for the same thing.
Yeah. Just check yourself.
Yeah, that's how it is. And it's all a matter of respectful boundaries, you know. And, like, you know, I've always told everybody in the scene, when I'm there, I'm trying to give everybody an opportunity. I want people to grow. I want people to get better. I want my scene to get better.
Yeah.
The last thing I want to do is, you know, alienate a comedian or not have a part of whatever I'm trying to do. I just want to make sure that people are strong enough to make sure that, hey, if we're going to represent our city, man, we're going to be fucking strong. We're going to come out like beasts.
That's the thing.
And that's the thing. And that's the biggest concern that I have when a lot of comedians come out here to Austin and, you know, they say, oh, from El Paso, and then they do like really cringy rape jokes or they try to be really edgy, and it's like, man, that's not El Paso, bro. Like, what are you representing, bro? So to me, it's like more of a kind of like, if you're going to represent El Paso, man, I'm thinking like, what is it? Freddie Soto, man. I'm thinking out of the Dominguez. I'm thinking about all his hits, you know, guys that are going out there really doing really great.
Yeah.
And that can have at least 45 minutes of material and being able to successfully, you know, do well wherever room they're in.
Yeah.
So that, it takes years. And so I see a lot of comedians that are out there in El Paso and they feel, I think they're ready for that, but I don't think they're ready for that. I just be careful what you wish for because I mean, there's a lot of things that you think, and I'm a victim of it myself. You know, I went out like same thing with my Kill Tony episode, which I haven't released yet. Most people didn't even know I did it because I haven't put it out there. It wasn't a good episode, and it wasn't a good look for me. The reason why is because I'm not gonna lie, I got fucking nervous. I got nervous during my set. And, I had it in my head that I wasn't going to get picked. And, like, I had been getting, like, 9 times, keep going out, and I just got used to the routine.
Sure.
And so, like, when I finally got it, I was like, holy shit. And I wasn't ready. And
Was this recent?
this was about 2 years ago.
This was back when you were out.
Yeah, this was when it was in Vulcan.
Oh, right.
Yeah, that was the last time I've been on Kill Tony was when they were in Vulcan.
Yeah.
So I kind of did a real, like, it doesn't make or break you. And let me get this straight to comedians. Kill Tony doesn't make or break you. But you see the advantages that it has and the advantages that it doesn't have.
Yeah.
But it's so prevalent here, like every time I go outside of Austin or when I travel, Kill Tony, because everybody talks about it.
It's a cool show.
And it's like, somebody compared, like, today's Johnny Carson, which is kind of true, but not. I wouldn't even put it in the same realm as Johnny Carson.
It's a different. The thing is with Kill Tony, it's like the minute is an interesting concept, right? Like I really do think that there's some comics that like are awesome one-liner, bang bang bang, great comics, right? And the show definitely has a certain tone to it, right? In terms of like topics and style and stuff, but. Not every comic's great at like single 1 minute stuff. Some people are more storytelling or this and that. It's like if we're gonna treat this like as an art, if it is, right? There's room for everyone to do that. That's not necessarily the best format for every comic. It doesn't mean I don't think it should be the litmus test for
and you don't have to get on it. Like, people are like,
I've seen guys that just literally go there just to sign up. Don't even do the open mic. Don't even try to get out here. And I'm like, what are you? Oh, you're trying to get famous. That's what you do. You're not trying to get famous. And I get it. I mean, everybody, like, there's some guy signed up for the mothership and got on. He's like, this is my first time doing comedy. And it's like, and he pulled it off. He pulled it off. He did really good. And I see. It's just like a toss-up for everybody. It's just a huge toss-up. It's a huge gamble, and it's a lot of risk and rewards.
It will be your highest ranked appearance on YouTube for a very long time.
That's very true.
You know what I mean? You're setting, and so that's it. Like whatever that performance is. Let me ask you this, and I don't know if this is true or not, but you feel like there's folks that have done well on Kill Tony that are maybe like just really good at that format, but necessarily don't have like a headlining set and are trying to do headlining gigs around like.
I mean, I think that's me. I mean, that just describes me, really.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I do have a headlining set. Sure. I stretched out to 45 minutes, and that's the longest I've ever done a set, and I was able to hang.
Right, sure.
But at the same time, it was one of those like, oh my God, I've never crossed that bridge before. And when I finally crossed it, I was like, I did 45.
Yeah.
The more I did, the more 30 came, the more easily 30 came, the more easily 15 came.
Sure.
And so now we're literally down to 1 minute, you know, I got it.
Yeah.
So it's just a matter of like, but also too, I'm not well known either. I'm not headlining, you know, but I mean, I want to get there.
Sure.
But like, that's something where it takes work and going out and grinding and putting yourself out there where, you know, you're going to have these gigs. That's what I'm doing right now.
Yeah, totally.
And shout out to Way Funny, Valente Rodriguez, Flo Rodriguez, Flo Fernandez, allowing me to take a trip with them on these adventures of touring with on the road. Next week we'll be in RGV down at University Draft House in McAllen, Texas. Very fun place to do comedy. Owner's really great, really nice, and so we're going to be out there. And so I was able to do that. So I think you're right as far as, because I've seen a lot of killers on there, and they completely bomb. And it's like, that's not their style. You know,
Right.
like for instance, rest in peace, Israel.
Sure.
Israel Garcia, and if you're not familiar with this comic who recently passed away and with cancer, and he was a great comic, great friend, first of all, before anything. A lot of mutuals, and much love to him and his family. But he did a Kill Tony set, and it was one of those things where I know he's better than this.
Sure, yeah.
And I think he came in not understanding the concept because I'm going to kill it.
Yeah.
And it backfired. And it wasn't a good look for him, but at the same time, it didn't define Israel.
Right.
And that's one thing I want to make clear. If everybody ever goes back, he has tons of stuff on YouTube. And there's, you know, that episode is a blimp on his record.
Yeah, you have to. You have to out.
But he did it, you know, and he did it, and I think at that time he just wasn't prepared and didn't know what to expect. And I think a lot of comics are like that, you know, or they do know what to expect, or they just want to get that little fame, and that's it. You know?
Well, Israel, and I didn't know him well, and you know, he's kind of like when I came into the scene, right?
Yeah.
But I do know this special he shot at the El Paso Comic Strip.
Yeah.
Packed, like to the gills, like just probably over capacity, fire marshal standards, you know what I mean? And I heard nothing but the best things. I was out of town for that when they shot it, but I've heard nothing but wonderful things about the man, and then about that event specifically. So once I Kill Tony in it, right? To have that whole town show.
And that's one thing I want to express is that unfortunately, that's what he got known for. That particular YouTube, he didn't get known for that, but I mean, it stood out, you know?
Sure.
On his like almost completely perfect track record of being a comedian and following.
Yeah, I think that's a good. Those bumps are important, right? And like they are weird. And, yeah, God knows, you know, in a spot, some like terrible spots came out, right? Like you're just sort of putting yourself under the knife for that one. And it is a gamble, as you said, right? So I mean, I signed up for it. I'm not above it, right? I think I know it'll work, but I don't know until you do it, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I forgot when I went up, I forgot one line of my joke.
Oh, no.
And it was one of those situations where I could go back and I just kept forward, and it still went through as a bit, but it didn't come off as strong.
It just like I was when I was learning writing from some folks. Like landmines, I always like that term, right?
Yeah.
You're setting it here and it goes off there, right? It's just like it's different than a callback, right? It's like just putting this little layered kind of like spots. I love that.
Right.
That's what I love in comedy. That part of writing, I really enjoy.
Yeah.
So I do a lot of loops and stuff like that.
That's cool, man. So you got all this stuff in Spanish in El Paso. I really love what you guys, you and what was the name?
Gus with Jewboys?
Yes, Jewboys Comedy guys. Go check them out in El Paso. If you ever do El Paso comedy, these guys are the ones that are doing all the comedy in El Paso, up and coming, and bringing something new. Not just a bar show, but something fun to do, something very entertaining also as well. So that's something that you can, that is very. I want to exploit, especially coming from my city. And I like to exploit talent, the raw talent that a lot of El Pasoans have that are just really not discovered. These guys are really talented, man. You got to pay attention to what they're doing.
What I'm impressed with is the way El Paso is. I got told this a long time ago. You have to make your own opportunities.
Right.
Not everyone wants to be a host all the time. You got to balance it, right? Whatever it is, but I got good at hosting first before I was really all that funny, which seems backwards, but I was personable enough to move through a show, right? And on time and all that stuff, right? So I'm really impressed with guys like Gus from El Paso, guys like Stretch from El Paso. They're creating these shows, creating those opportunities. And I know Stretch, he went on the road with Robles and anybody in Kansas City. Right? So it's just good, genuine connections made through a lot of hard work, effort, and
it's more power to it. Yeah, that's the way to go. I mean, that's how I got discovered. I usually I made myself available, and had the top dogs try to see me. And it's a game for everybody, man. So and that's great seeing that great raw talent come from over there, man. And I couldn't ask for anything more. And I'm glad to be a part of it to help. So. Also being a part of it too, a lot of people don't know you are a very tech-savvy dude as well. And not only that, Aaron also does MassiveTickets.com. Massive Tickets is a great resource that I use for my shows. It's an old ticket list, and I'm able to put my shows up there. And the customer support is superb, guys. So it's MassiveTicketList.com. Massive Ticks. Sorry. Go ahead.
There's nothing better than a pair of massive ticks.
He will explain more about. Tell me more about this company and what
it came from anything else, right? I don't like this, so I'm gonna figure out a way to do it myself better, right? I think we all knew Eventbrite. I don't want to hit one company.
No, Eventbrite.
I mean, they started it, and then the industry follows, right? So Eventbrite. If you're doing over 24 tickets, you're going to just pay a $10 flat fee to get the list.
Right.
You're bringing the traffic to their website. You're drawing the eyes. Their promotion is insane. It's $120. So it's $10 for this, $120 for this, another for that, right? To do their email marketing. It's just build. That's you'll make negative money every single show, guaranteed, right? It's just there's no margin in that, right? I am very lucky that I have some experience in e-commerce, Shopify, and stuff like that. And so I looked around, and I just did them for my shows. It's I'm just going to sell my own tickets, right? There's AB Comedy WS, which is my personal website now.
Right.
But I got Sam Butler. Sam Butler went out to work with two of the guys from Leonidas from Mexico City. Insane, all Spanish, but crazy podcast about ghosts and goblins and Jesus and all kinds of crazy stuff. Aliens. And they did a tour together, and they gave me a shot, man. So I did all of their ticketing for their tour. We fixed the problem. We learned a lot. It was a really good relationship. And then from there, Mindfulness Comedy with Aaron, she got on board. Willie Barcena jumped on, and so this isn't an AV comedy. This is much bigger than that now, right? And so that's what we've done. It's been concierge. You're not going in there fixing your own account and no. Send me what you need. I've got an upload form, and you'll get an update. You need tickets added? Treat the message, you get it. Because I can manage 98% of it from my phone.
Yeah.
And that's important to me to be able to do.
Yes.
We talk about lives in Japan, bad shows, right? So that's important.
And that's why I wanted this particular setup here, is because I can control all of this on my phone. Right?
Yeah, exactly.
And my new toys here that I'm working with my camera system.
Talk about testing.
I know, right? Well, I mean, real recognize real, you know what I'm saying? Well, because I tried to do something like that a while back. I had my own ticketing thing for a long time connected to my website. The problem was it went through PayPal. And I hate PayPal, bro. With a passion, I hate PayPal.
I have to use it, but only because they're probably in the same boat. A lot of people from Mexico use PayPal. So they're coming across the border to see a show. Mexican cards can hit problems, whatever.
Yeah. So, I mean, but you've, successfully navigating through, it's a very nice site and ticket massive ticks. Massive ticks. Not tickets, ticks. So, yeah, go guys check them out, man. You can catch my shows on there too. If you guys want to check out another show, check out the website. Tell me what you think about it. Provide some feedback. Let me know. That way I can keep this man in business. Please. And we can continue to go on. That's great. I'm very impressed with that whole system, man, and how you're able to do it. And I hope it grows for you. I hope you do some more stuff, because that is a valuable tool, especially in our business. You know what I mean?
I think so. I mean, the plan with that is to scale really sustainably. I'm not trying to invite every comic on here. I mean, obviously, you do a lot of $10 shows. That doesn't really, you know what I mean? Like, it's like figure what's the right fit for you.
Right.
If you're touring, because we can just add this to it. So, like, if you're doing a running tour, you want to do merch on it as well.
Right.
You can add your designs to merch, and I have a on-demand printer now in Austin. He does all the stuff for the mothership. Yeah, so they place the order, he gets it, prints it, ships it for you. You don't touch inventory, all you do is get it added to your stick.
Yeah, that's basically how a Shopify works, pretty much, right?
Yeah, and it's just using the tools we have in a different way.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. That's great. Well, I think I'm going to do a real quick food review, guys. This is chili colorado burrito, made from Jewboys Cantina. No pork. I think it might be pork. Do you do pork?
I mean, I do pork.
Oh, yeah, I think it is. Yeah.
Do Jewboys do pork?
Oh, I think they do. That's a very good question. Check that out, guys.
Oh, scratch and sniff your monitors, please.
So, I like to get food from back home because, honestly, I'm not gonna lie, I hate fucking awesome food. There's some good stuff, but alright? Wow. You want chili on it?
Hell yeah.
Oh, that might be a lot. So, yeah, you got some habanero sauce here? So, what is it?
Yeah, that's legit.
It's good. Wow.
That's beef, I think.
It's beef, right? Yeah, it is beef.
Like tender, juicy, that was awesome.
So now I know where to come. And they're fat too.
Yeah.
Good.
Oh, yeah. I wouldn't even hungry.
That's El Paso style.
Yeah, it's so different, right?
Dude, my mom will feed me till I die, bro.
Yeah, so good.
I go back home and here, I'm like, no, stop. Like, I'm full from Monday.
Yeah, my wife's from outside of Burrito. So, it's, I mean, I love Taco Palenque for now.
That's a good spot. They have one now.
You know, it's okay.
Yeah.
It's been Austinized, yes.
Right.
But, it's just different, right? It's so different than El Paso, so different than, you got that Southwest influence, that Chihuahua Desert influence.
Right.
You know, spices are just...
You taste the difference.
Yeah, oh yeah.
I'm not a fan of like a lot of Tex-Mex.
Sure.
And I tried RGB food. Not that I don't like it, it's just different. And it's their version. And a lot of these places cook according to where they're at.
Right.
And so you only have, chili coral burrito.
Yeah.
The only rich chilies you get is by New Mexico.
Right.
So like you're gonna get that type of heat there. So I think it's a lot of environment where you're at, and there's a whole documentary on Amazon called Texas KFC, where they talk about all the food in the Midwest and where that came from, and how like all these like recipes are made, and it was basically shit that they got around the land.
Yeah.
And it's very, very fascinating shit. But I think I talk about that in another fucking episode, so I don't want to bore
It's that
you.
whole thing, man. Like, you get amazing food in these places. It's not, it's not trying to be like Michelin star, but like they work with what they got, and it gets just refined over generations. It's amazing. Thai food is so cheap. It's incredible, right? You just get it off the stove.
Oh, I love Asian food too. Like one thing I want to do is maybe like a pho review.
You should do.
Yeah. So that's probably maybe coming up in the next time you come to Austin, we'll probably do that in the episode.
I think there's like, and I'm sure this exists. I know there's some there, but like Indian Mexican fusion. There's so many similarities. Like human spices of everything. So good.
It's awesome stuff. So last portion, I'm going to ask you guys all the time. This is what you guys on my show. Your Mount Rushmore of comics.
Go. Alchemy is probably one of my favorites.
Nice.
One of my big comedy dreams is like, one, either or, both would be best, is I want to do a show with Kyle. Then I want to write a mountain bike with Kyle. He's such a badass mountain biker. Dude, I missed him in KL because I was on this other show.
Yeah.
It was like my friend, it was her first show, blah, 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 and I didn't know, like...
You really kind of sound like him. You know that, right? You got these boys out there. You got if I just give up.
I love his voice.
Bro, I love his comedy. And a lot of people don't realize, like, who? The guy, the voice from Comedy Central. Oh, that guy, yeah. Join us next time here. He's got that low, raspy voice. And his delivery, his brilliance in his comedy, I fucking love it.
I don't see a lot of crowd work close to him.
No.
Because he doesn't do it. He's a writer. Like, I came up to tell these jokes I wrote. I don't care what this guy does for a living.
Right.
And I love that. I really appreciate
I love that approach too. Who else?
Alright, so there. I did a similar thing to this on New Zealand radio, and I introduced them to Ron White. To me, like, he listened to a lot of Jeff Foxworthy and the blue collar stuff, but man, he just like cut through bullshit in such a clever, interesting way. Yeah, he was texting, but he wasn't dumb. Like, he wasn't a cable guy, He wasn't like trying to do catchphrases. Like, it was just awesome. Real.
That's an interesting Mount Rushmore here. What else?
This I think Ron Sykes is up there too. A lot of my jokes, I feel like I pick up a lot of delivery. I really like when she does those like really fast layers. Like, where the hell was he thinking? And I think that's such a really great performative style, right? It's not just the writing; it's she's full into that character. And I love that.
Do you think that's yourself or that's actually
I think it's an extension of herself, for sure. Like, every interview I've ever seen her, she like, if you're talking some bullshit, she does not have time for it. And I love that. I think she's great. There's 4 on there, right? Well, Chuck's coming, right? But it'll be fine. Podcast movie that one. Number 4. I'm not going to do Cosby. Bro, he was probably one of the first comics I knew was a comic.
bro.
I read Fatherhood as an 8-year-old. Like, it's incredible book. It's so funny. And it's like, it's so terrible that it is what it is. But he's not on there. He's in the mind. I don't know.
He's in purgatory. Comedy purgatory.
I wouldn't say like in the same way that I like watch all this stuff, but I'd say Eddie Izzard was really important to me too.
Yeah.
Just really clever writing, and it made me appreciate a style of comedy that we don't necessarily like foster in America.
Right.
So one of my favorite things about being in New Zealand was they follow more UK style, so like fringe shows, like Edinburgh Fringe, right? They do their own fringe shows. I get to do 2 fringe shows. Like, you talk about, you got to be in comedy X long to do an hour of comedy. Like, I've done 2 hours, but they were very storytelling based. They're very like kind of like ebbs and flows. That's what they expect over there, and that's kind of like the style and design. For American comedy, is you write an hour worth of bangers, right? They can have a theme or not, doesn't matter. It's just banging ass jokes.
Right.
And you deliver it, then you go write another hour of banging ass jokes, which is great. That's we all love that, but I really appreciate this other style. Eddie Izzard, I think, really like.
I like the story.
Yeah, it's very stories that he told a whole.
You know who I am.
Exactly. Yeah.
I'm Lord Vader. I'm gonna crush you with a thought.
The cats are really behind the couch. Cats are always true. So good.
His storytelling is like, you know who I am. I had not known who he was. I didn't even know he was a comic. I heard of that skit before I knew he was a comic.
Oh, really? Yeah.
And my friend was kept on repeating it with me, and it was like, I could kill you with the thoughts.
Isn't it great when you like think you have a really funny friend and then just realize all their jokes are scrubs? I got a dude like that.
You fucking ass. But it's all good, man. That's good. All right, that's cool. I mean, that's a very unique, interesting Mount Rushmore of comedy. I always like to hear other people's perspectives on who they look up to, and that's a very, very different Mount Rushmore I've ever heard anybody put together. But it's also about the club too. So you might look back and I was like, oh wait, maybe I should have said that.
It's just such a different experience, right? Of like us growing up, like. I'll be honest with you, I didn't really know who Willie Barcena was. Before I got to El Paso, and like, he's, you know, he's on top of the Rushmore, right? And I finally got to see him at the comedy show. I get it. Like, he's a killer, man. But it's so wild that like different like groups will have those idols, and you don't find them out until later.
Not to say that I watched the day when he did, but. No, man, he's great. I learned a lot every time I watch him on stage. He's just one of those master techniques.
Confidence.
And it's out the door, you know. And he's great. He's great to learn from. And much success for Willie Barcena. And shout out to also DJ Vasquez, who's also working with him. So man, it's great to see those guys take off and do really great things. So hey, keep me in mind, fuckers. But I'd love to see y'all again anytime y'all come back into town. So anyways. Yeah, man, so I think we touched on a lot of stuff today, and yeah, man, I think where can people find you online? How can they get in touch with Aaron Barber?
Instagram's probably the best right now. Well, everything for social media is at aaronbarber.us.
Okay.
Made a lot more sense when I was overseas. I was very patriotic.
It's very USA.
No, so at aaronbarber.us, Instagram, Facebook.
So are you affiliated with Jewboys Comedy too, or are you just...
So Jewboys Comedy is a cool thing because, like, we're separate entities, right? We each have our own individual shows, and then we collaborate on a lot of stuff. Gus is one of the most ambitious, driven people I've ever met. And he's also very admittedly ADHD to the max, right? So like,
well, you have to be the way he does the show. You have to be.
You do, yeah.
I get it.
And so I feel like I'm helping provide a little bit more about mentoring, balance.
You provide the balance.
Correct.
You guys gotta make a great team, man.
I think so. I really, he's doing a great job.
Well, that's good, man. So you guys find him on Instagram at aaronbarber.us. So make sure you check him out, guys. And I think that's going to conclude our episode today, guys. If you liked our episode, please like, comment, subscribe, do something. Yeah. But definitely, definitely check us out. Our next episode will be BorderLaughs podcast. Check us out on Instagram, BorderLaughs_podcast. And we're also hitting the road, guys, so check out my shows in El Paso. I'll be live streaming them as well, guys. Aaron was part of my show was it 2 months ago in March? Right? Aaron was part of my show, and I'm featuring a lot of different El Paso comedians on the come up, guys. So it is called BorderLaughs. You guys know where it is. You guys check it out.
Where do you get the tickets? For the shows?
You get tickets at MassiveTix.com, guys. MassiveTix. MasterTix.com.
Like 2 tickets.
TIX, guys. So make sure you remember that. That way I can remember it, guys. So. And this has been another BorderLaughs episode of podcast episode. Guys, thank you so much for joining us. I'll catch you next time, maybe at another restaurant. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Have to watch them.
Yeah.